Look, I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but I will die for my country of Finland at this point. The Dallas Stars take a commanding 3-1 series lead over the Winnipeg Jets. Over the course of this series, it's just been the country of Finland versus the Winnipeg Jets. And Mikael Granlund with a hat trick in Game 4 in American Airlines Center, the third hat trick of the playoffs for the Dallas Stars. Mikael Granlund, not Mikko Rantanen, Mikael Granlund, awesome player. I've talked about it significantly. We got the Finnish flag. We got the rally towels. We're pumped right now. 3-1 series lead. Dallas Stars are leading the Winnipeg Jets. Welcome to Clean Sheet of Ice, a Texas hockey podcast presented by Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. We love Zing Zang, hammering it when we get up, when we go watch our road game. When I'm in the press box, can't drink it, but when I get home, I'm having a Bloody Mary from Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. And shout out to Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. I am your host of Clean Sheet of Ice, Stone Strankman, joined always by Dom Garcia. How are we doing this fine Wednesday morning, May 14th?
The weather's perfect. Not here, but in the country of Finland, weather's perfect. Birds are chirping. The sun is out. And the Finnish Stars have a 3-1 lead on the Winnipeg Jets. And feels great to be a Finn.
It's never felt better to be a Finn. It's just never felt better. Every question last night in the post-game press conference was about Finland. It felt like they were asking Otter. They were asking Lee and Bischel. Then we had Miro and Granny at the podium after the game. Everything was about, you got all these Finns. How's it like? What's it like just having all these Finns on your team? Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice? Do you have a new appreciation for the country of Finland? Pete DeBoer was asked at one point. It's incredible because we said throughout the duration of the playoffs, like Mikko Rantanen has been on an absolute tear. He got a point last night as well. Not a big deal. 19 points in 12 games now?
Good God, dude.
Pretty good. But it wasn't the Mikko Rantanen game. It was the Mikael Granlund game. He was, from the jump, immediately stood out to us in the press box. We're like, oh, Granny's got something tonight. Threw 6 hits. He led the team in hits last night. Mikael Granlund, not Liam Bischel, not Petrovic, not Jamie Benn. Mikael Granlund did. But he had something last night, and it just appeared immediately. It's the third Stars hat trick in the playoffs this season. It ties for the most in a playoff run for Dallas Stars playoff run history, tying with the bubble year in 2020 where they had 3 hat tricks, and they went to the Stanley Cup final. We're in round 2 right now. We've already got 3 hat tricks, like one more. That's the record for most in a playoffs run, and they've got 13 in their franchise history, 3 of them in one season just now. It's like, it's unreal at this point, the country of Finland. I will die for my country of Finland. Signing up for the military today. I keep saying it. I might have to do it at this point. I might just either have to get the Finnish flag tattooed on my chest or go sign up for the military. I don't know which one's going to happen first. Maybe both happen. Who's to say? But from the jump, the game was like one of those regular season games where both teams just like weren't creating a lot. They weren't getting a lot of offensive zone time, and it was just kind of gross hockey. But Stars go on a power play about 7 minutes or so into the game, and it was on Granny. He got his stick held, got the penalty, stayed on the ice, and then the Jets got a clear, goes to the deep end of the defense, and Harley goes and gets it up to Granny, and Granny then just jump deeks a guy at the red line. I was like, oh, he definitely has the juice, and gets past the next blue line. There's 3 Jets defenders. There's a wall right there. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to skate. He just keeps going forward a little bit, a couple more strides, and then fires a puck on net. Glove side on Connor Hellebuyck from over 30 feet. That is like the 10th or 11th goal allowed from 30-plus feet in this playoffs for Connor Hellebuyck. Absurd that is the case. Because it's not like – you can't say that that's a high-danger chance from Granlund. Like, it was just a shot on net. He was just trying to fling it at Hellebuyck and get a little bit of offensive zone time, and Granny flung it on net, and it went in immediately. We were 8:36 into the game, and sitting there like, oh, if this game's going to be this gross and we already got that goal, sign me up all day long, Granlund.
Yeah, and we didn't have a lot of shots early in the game. Just if there's one thing I can give Winnipeg, man, like getting the puck past the blue line feels impossible at times. Like
Mhm.
they are so good at playing Red Rover, Red Rover. But as we've seen time and time and again, it takes just one shot with the Dallas Stars. There's too much talent on the ice, and sometimes it's not even the greatest of shots, and it goes in. I've said that, like we were talking about this before. You said this is the best atmosphere you've seen in AAC this postseason, and that crowd you said was jumping, and it was good to see.
Yeah, the crowd, I think as a whole, was the best. I think the loudest it was this playoffs was the Wyatt Johnston power play goal in Game 7. Take the lead. You were down 2-0 in that period, and season's on the line. You're about to go home. And then Mikko just takes over. The crowd got really big for that. Both Mikko goals there, but Wyatt Johnston's power play goal, 14 seconds into that power play in Game 7, that's the loudest I've heard it. But for the duration of the game, that's the best crowd I've heard. They were in it pretty much from the jump. Obviously, the beginning, which we'll get into later after we talk about Granlund for a long time, was incredible. But just from the whole duration of the game, the crowd was incredible. And I know people probably couldn't hear that on the ESPN broadcast. Maybe they could hear it on the TSN broadcast, but we don't get that. So, yeah, crowd was awesome. But the Granny gets that goal. Then was it first period or second? I think it was the second period. They are on the power play. The Jets are, and off of a Tyler Seguin hold behind the net with about a minute left in the first period. So tough penalty to take because they're going to start on the power play. But they kill off the power play, and then Ehlers just he sniped Otter. He was looking him off. It was a no look, just snipe to top right corner where Otter's there. He just not covering that whole part because he sees the guy that's open ice. He's preparing for that shot. Ehlers just flings it on net. It goes in. It's 1-1, and you're like, okay. We knew they weren't going to go down easy. This is a pivotal game for the Jets because if they lose, you're down 3-1. Got to go home, and then you got to win just to extend the series, and then you got to go back to Dallas where they have not won a game yet. They haven't particularly been close in the third period yet in Dallas, and you're sitting there like, okay, not great, not great. And then Seguin takes another penalty pretty much right after that on a tripping call, which ticky-tacky, I think. I think it was a weak call, but I couldn't really tell from the press box or from the replays. It just kind of looked weird, and I don't think he really tripped him. I think he was already falling, and then the stick hits his skate, and he full-on falls. So not great. And then you're sitting there like, man, can't have that. It's not Jamie Benn. It's not Mason Marchman. It's Tyler Seguin this time taking all these penalties. And you're like, golly, this is no bueno. No bueno. But they killed off that one. So, and they killed off the first one. It just happened a second or two after they say, guess who's back when they get out of the box from Eminem. And then they scored immediately. I was like, all right, that sucks, but it doesn't count towards the power play, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and what Mikael Granlund, this is your game, but Miro Heiskanen, one of the best defenders in all of hockey, made his return. And in the when they go out for warmups, you could hear number 4 is back, and you could feel a sense. And that power play that got killed off, that's when I was like, okay, now we're getting the real Dallas Stars. And when that power play is buzzing, man, it's tough because our power play looks good too. Like
really good.
When we're killing PKs like we always do, and then when our power play is electric, boy, Thomas Harley might just be the quarterback for the next 3-4 years on the power play because he looks great too, dude. Boy,
I believe so. I believe so. I think that's what they're running out. They ran it out last night, but Miro only played 15 minutes, just shy.
Yeah.
14:52, I believe, was his time on ice, and they're easing him back in. He was playing every other shift with the deep pairings, and they were mixing him in. They went 11-7 last night. No Colin Blackwell, no Oscar back. I thought it was a good move just to get Miro some ice time, but not letting anyone else come out of the lineup because Petrovic has been really awesome. Cody Cece's been incredible. Labushkin's been really good. You didn't want to take something away from these guys that have earned their spots and have earned playoff spots. They've played so well in the playoffs. They've won several games without this guy, Miro Heiskanen, and then he comes back. You don't want to take anyone out, but eventually you're going to have to once Miro's back up to game speed. But Granny, man, I mean, then what was it? Second period, 2-on-1. Granny gets the pass from Mikko at the first blue line. He skates it into the zone with speed. He accelerates out of nowhere, just like it was in between them. And the Jets defender falls to his face, basically. He's just lying down on the ice trying to prevent the pass from Granny happening. And this is very similar to two different plays from Mikael Granlund. Mikael Granlund, his overtime game winner in the Four Nations tournament was the exact same play. The exact same play. The defender falls down. He looks at Sweden. They win that overtime game. They beat Sweden. Sweden just did not look good that tournament. Finland looked okay. But Granny wins that game on this exact same play. And then I also pointed out that it looked exactly like his first point with the Dallas Stars after the trade, where he is doing the exact same thing. He gets the puck in the same part of the zone. He skates it in. He's got one defender. The defender starts to fall down on the ice, but he passes it over to Logan Stankoven. Stankoven sniped it. That was his first point with the Dallas Stars. The exact same play both times. However, this one was identical to the overtime winner in the Four Nations tournament against Sweden, where he no-looked that shot to high heavens. He never once looked at the net. I don't know where his eyes were because he can't see it, but his whole head is pointing the other direction towards Roope Hintz. And he sent that puck glove side high, top right, and beat Hellebuck. No look shot for his second goal of the game. He's already beat Hellebuck twice, and we're like, okay, well, if someone else scores, this game's over. Well, you might not need another guy to score.
Yeah, and for my Houston people listening to this, there's a jersey right behind me. Mikael Granlund wore that jersey, and I was, I think, 10 years old, and the NHL was it was in a player stoppage, and our team was stacked. We get all the way to the Calder Cup, and it was Mikael Granlund's stick work that was like, man, this guy is just not like anybody else on the ice. Like the shiftiness, everything you want in a forward, he's got. And for Jim Nill to find a way to get Mikkorantanen on your roster, that's huge. But to also give up a first-round pick for Mikael Granlund, and he come out here and put up a hat trick in the Stanley Cup playoffs, like, I think GM of the year, like that's beyond the point. It's GM of the decade now. Like the moves. And what was so awesome about this year is, I think it was Robert Tiffin that pointed this out. Like Jim Nill never gives up first round picks ever. But he understood like the talent we have on this roster and what we need to get through this gauntlet of a West. It's all hands on deck because we have a chance to win now. And you're seeing from our forwards, from our blue line, and Jake fucking Oettinger, who might be the best goalie on planet Earth right now, just playing unbelievable hockey at the right time.
Yeah, we did an emergency podcast after the Granny CC trade. Gave up a first and a fourth, maybe. So no players, only draft picks. And you're like, okay, that helps your depth on both sides, the blue line and the forward group. Like Granny's like, I don't know. I said it when the news dropped that Granny is going to be your new Dadanov, where he's going to be able to play with whatever line you want to put him out there. He's going to be able to create offense. He's going to be able to do a lot of things. But Granny is like 7 Dadanovs. It's like the way he plays the game. He plays at 200 feet. He plays both ways exceptionally well. He's thrown 6 hits last night. He plays great defense. He has a great stick. He plays on the PK now a lot. And the offense that he's able to create, especially with the Finn line of Mikkorantanen and Roope Hintz and Granny, is like, it's incredible because he just does whatever they need him to do. Like if he needs to set up for Mikko or Roope, he can do that. If he needs to get the puck entry zone into the offensive zone from the blue lines, he can do that. If he needs to just shoot, he'll do that. He said it in the post-game presser last night. He's like, it's always, I like passing. Like I'm good at passing. I enjoy that, but sometimes it's nice to shoot. Like that's all he said about all of his goals. He had 3 goals last night. 3. And he's like, sometimes it's nice to shoot. So he can do everything for you. And he's a smaller guy. I get it. He's around my height, but he's just an incredibly intelligent player. He plays both ways and he does everything right. And then last night he just takes over the game. And then you get a 4-minute power play in the third period. You're sitting there like, this game could be over really quick. If you get one on both sides of this power play, one on the first 2 minutes, one on the second 2 minutes, and you're looking there like, okay, might just be done with this game right now. It could be just over before you even know it. And the first power play goes by, and you're like, God, that was bad. That was pretty bad. It's like it didn't start off good. It didn't end well. Then the second one starts, and you're like, okay, they're getting a little bit of momentum, but they're not cycling the puck a lot. They're not getting a lot of good shots. And then all of a sudden, Matt Duchene went bar down, and it just bounced off. I was like, that was Matt Duchene's best play of the playoffs outside of the 2 game-winning assist goals that he had. And you're like, okay, Dutchie's heating up. Like, that was sick. And the power play is coming to an end. There's 10 seconds left, maybe. Puck goes over to Granny. Granny sends it back to Miro at the point. Miro makes just one little shifty move. What we've seen from Miro Heiskanen over all the years is that he just does one little thing, little head fake, little juke, sends it right back to Granny. And here's the point where I recognize what I saw on morning skate. So we got the news that Miro Heiskanen was coming back, potentially coming off of LTIR, probably playing in Game 4, barring any setbacks. And in practice, it was Miro, Granny, and Mikko. Miro's at the point. Granny is in the spot where he scores his 3rd goal on the dot. Miro's just passing the puck to Granny, and Granny is then passing the puck to Mikko for a tip-in right next to the net. Mikko just was nasty with those tip-ins in practice, by the way. He almost had one last night, too. He started to celebrate, but the puck went up and off the boards. He literally pulled his mouthpiece out to celebrate. That was funny. But that's what they were doing in practice. The exact same thing, where Miro would do a little head fake, send it over to Granny from that spot. Granny then sends it to Mikko. This time, Miro makes the head fake, sends it over to Granny. Granny one-times it, everything that he has, and he's sitting there on his knees, just double fist pumping. 3 goals, 1 game against the best goalie in the league this year. He's going to win a Vezina. He might win a Hart. He's got 3 on this guy. And this Mikael Granlund, like, we thought he might just be the 3rd-line guy this year with Jamie Benn and Wyatt Johnston, and all of a sudden he's on the top line with Mikko Rantanen and Roope Hintz, and that line is just buzzing. But Mikael Granlund, that hat trick was incredible. It took several minutes for them to go pick up all the hats off the ice. There was moose hats. Did you see the moose hats on the ice?
Yeah, I saw like 5 of them.
That was incredible. But another hat trick for the Finns, Granny, and then 2 from Mikko in back-to-back games, by the way. Not a big deal. Jim Nill, masterclass this year. With just that trade, I was like, man, that's really good. And then you go get Mikko Rantanen and sign him to an 8-year extension for $12 million. Incredible deal. Oh, also on that same day, you signed Wyatt Johnston to a 5-year bridge deal for like 8.45. In one day, he did both of those things and then got Granny and Cece like a month before. Impeccable.
Like, the offer sheets that Wyatt Johnston would have gotten this offseason would have just, you tweet it sometimes, like when you get nervous before games, I might throw up. I would have thrown up about the Wyatt offer sheets that Wyatt Johnston. So, like, to get him at that number, it's you're sitting good, Dallas. You're sitting good. You got the number 1 pick for your Mavs. Paige Beckers was in the building. Like, things, the Cowboys, I don't know what's up with them, but things are looking good in DFW.
Wild turn of events over the last week for Dallas. It really is. But yeah, I mean, the Mikael Granlund game. What else can you say about the guy? He did everything right last night. He's playing defense. He's playing offense. He's doing everything right, and he just had that juice right from the jump. And everyone noticed it in the press boxes. Like, Granny's just going tonight. And I thought Mikko looked really good. I thought Roope was pretty good. I thought everyone I thought the Sagan line looked it's been progressing this series. Like, you've seen a little bit more each game goes by, and then Tyler Sagan looked really good, minus those 2 penalties. He had speed. He was throwing hits. He was controlling the puck. He was doing a lot of things. So, like, we said it, that Mikko Rantanen just can't carry this team to a Stanley Cup final. Someone else has to step up, or another line has to step up. And I think we're getting to a point. I know Granny's still on the top line with Mikko, but 2 of those were power play goals, so Mikko's not even on the ice. You know, think about that. It's like, you don't need just Mikko and Granny and Roope. If Granny can do it on the second power play unit, sure, why not? We'll take those. But the Mikael Granlund game, another hat trick for the Stars. Let's go back to the beginning, though. Miro Heiskanen, welcome back, bud. Welcome back. Just stick taps for the kid. He tore his ACL or MCL or something. We don't really know what the injury specifically was. January 28th this year. It's May 14th. It was May 13th last night when he came back for the first time in over 100 days. And that crowd pop. They announced Jake Oettinger first. Great crowd pop for Jake every time. Not an issue there. Miro Heiskanen from Espoo, Finland. Miro Heiskanen. And the crowd just goes nuts. And every time he touched the puck, the crowd's going nuts. Every time he did literally anything, a good defensive play or just touch the puck in any way, shape, or form, the crowd was going bananas. The crowd loves Miro Heiskanen. The Dallas Stars love Miro Heiskanen. They understand how important he is to this team. And he only played 14:52 last night. He's playing every other shift. Like, he's only going to start playing more minutes with each game that passes in the playoffs. And if he can get to the Western Conference Finals, if you get to the Stanley Cup Finals, then all of a sudden you've probably got full Miro back. There was one play last night. Kyle Connor had a breakaway from the left side. Miro's on the right side of the ice, and he's trailing back. And I've never once seen Miro Heiskanen not catch a person on a breakaway. Not once. He's just always been able to get to him. He just barely got to Kyle Connor, but he usually beats them. But he just wrapped his stick just right around him, just a little stick tap, and it threw Connor off just slightly on that breakaway, and Otter was able to make that save off of his blocker. And Miro Heiskanen's only going to get better from here, man.
Yeah, like I noticed his first shift, he was like a little extra cautious.
Yeah, he was all game.
But still, he was so phenomenal. I mean, just the IQ that guy plays with, it's why we all regard him top 5 in the world. And boy, like all these pictures that I was seeing last night of the Finnish Stars, like Finland's first line is the Dallas Stars. Like that's so fun. How often do you have that in sports? Like,
yeah, and they have Barkov and Aho to go along with that. It's like this might just be your top line heading into the Olympics next year.
Yeah, and just it feels like Winnipeg is giving you everything they have, and Dallas is able to eat all their shots. Like it feels so foreign. The end of the year where we couldn't win a game, and now it's like you can't knock us off our confidence levels. Like whatever Peter DeBoer is doing in that locker room is working, and the healthy scratches would be productive in games. Like that's how good this Dallas team is, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're missing 2 of your most important penalty killers. This game with Oscar back and Colin Blackwell, like 2 guys that have just been really good all season. I know Blackwell didn't play a ton in the regular season. He was in there kind of every other game or so. And then in the playoffs, he comes in, he gets overtime winner in game 2 against Colorado. He played the rest of that series. He missed the first 2 games. He was a healthy scratch. And then they brought him in for game 3. He was really good in game 3. It just does all these things. And all of a sudden, like, get Mikael Granlund. Maverick Bork, just, I don't know, has he not played since game 1 of Colorado? I don't think he's been in since then. And he's an exceptional player. He's very good. He's very skilled. He's just so young that they're like, we're going to roll with the older guys. Nathan McKinnon said it this season, I believe. He doesn't believe that you can win a cup with young players. And if Wyatt Johnston's going to be your only young guy, like super young guy, happy birthday, Wyatt Johnston, by the way. Happy birthday. 22 years old today, May 14th. But if he's going to be your only young guy and then the rest of the guys are incredibly experienced, but Wyatt Johnston's like, he's a young guy, but he's been in the playoffs. He's been to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. He scored 30 goals twice in his career already. He's got 2 game-winning goals. Like, he's done all of these things. He's young, but he doesn't feel young. He feels like a veteran already. This team is just incredibly stacked. And for once, we finally got the LTIR. I guess you can call it luck. We've been wanting to do this for a while. It's like, just sit Seguin for the rest of the year and go use that 9.5. Like, and let him come back fresh for the playoffs. And then this year, obviously, Seguin has to go on LTIR, and you're like, okay, now you have the cap space. And it's an unfortunate event because Seguin was 19 points in 20 games. He was a point-per-game player before he gets hurt. He comes back and scores a goal. Or, yeah, did he? No, he had the assist in game 82 against Nashville right off the rip. Like, that line was back. And you're like, okay, cool. Then Miro gets hurt, and you're like, okay, didn't want that. I was asking for LTIR help, but I wasn't asking for that.
Yeah.
And then you make that Granny trade, CC trade, and right after Miro gets hurt, and then all of a sudden Mikkorantanen shows up out of nowhere. The LTIR luck is real. I know Colorado took advantage of it with Landeskog this season and the last few seasons, and then obviously you have Vegas and Mark Stone taking advantage of it for 3 straight years in a row. Like, it will help you, and it will make your team so much deeper. But the fact is that it wasn't like a spleen got removed and then he missed the rest of the season. This was a major hip surgery from Tyler Seguin and then a major knee injury and surgery from Miro Heiskanen. It's like 2 very unfortunate things that you don't want to happen. And then all of a sudden this team is just nuts. It's so deep that you're scratching like Matt Dumba, who was really good for the last half of the season. Like Labushkin or Petrovic or Cece might end up coming out of the lineup here in the next few games because Mira Haskins all the way back. And you're looking at these guys that have helped your team in the playoffs that may just not play. And like it's insane the depth that this team has.
Yeah, and good things happen to good organizations. Like we traded for Mikko Rantanen, but he had a choice. Like there were rumors that he almost went to Toronto, but he said, "I like Dallas. I like the players on that team. This helps, and I want to be there. That everything about Dallas is where I want to be." And now I think the last couple of games, it finally feels like Mikko Rantanen is Dallas star. Like all the nonsense that has gone on this season, Carolina, just Colorado, just letting him walk, like everything that happened, it took some games, it took some experience, but now it feels like Mikko Rantanen is a Dallas star, and so much depth. This feels like those Astros team, like Mikael Granlund feels like Michael Brantley in the sense that like he's your 7-hole hitter, but even he's dangerous. Like, boy,
when Kyle Tucker in 2019 was like batting 9th.
Yeah, like it's how deep this team is and how awesome our forward group is. I think I'm ready to have these discussions. If we have the best goalie in the world in our net, that guy is unbelievable.
Jake Oettinger, we knew he's a playoff riser. Like he's so good in the regular season. He's top 5 in save percentage and wins. I think he's 2nd or 3rd, maybe. Like he's an exceptional regular season goalie. He's going to do a lot of really good things for you. He's going to win a lot of games for you. But the playoffs happen and something just happens to him. Like in his mind, he knows the moment and he knows what he has to do to give his team just a chance. Like if he only allows 2 goals, you have a very good chance of winning that game. If he only allows 1 goal, you're probably just winning that game. And he's 31 of 32 for a .969 save percentage last night. Hellebuck was 24 of 27 for an .875 save percentage, where 2 of those goals, like there's no way in hell that those 2 should have went in, really. I mean, both incredible plays from Granny, especially the first one, like 30 plus feet out. Like that's a save you just have to make. Then the no-look goal, it's a 2-on-1. I kind of can't blame him, but I kind of can because that's just it's a glove side top right shot. Like should have just been able to get something on that and probably bounce it up into the netting. Didn't do it. And then the third one was a power play goal, Schneip, one-timer, open shot. Like can't really blame him on that one, but the first 2 I can. That's the first time I've seen Hellebuck look kind of shaky in the playoffs. I know the Petrovic goal from game 3 was weird and shaky, but that's a weird play. I can't really blame him on that one. But this was the first time I saw Otter was just like worlds above Hellebuck, and Hellebuck looked like an average goalie.
Yeah, and this game more than listen, we both watch 95% of Dallas Stars hockey this season, 100 maybe. Yep. Otter, that might have been the best game I've seen him play like this entire year, and his start was unreal. People forget his start to this year was all world. The rebounds were not bouncing off of his pads at all. Like he was controlling everything, catching everything. I mean, he makes a save and that AAC crowd just eats it up.
They love Jake Oettinger. The Otters' better chance. We mentioned it on the last podcast, but the Otters' better chance have never been louder. The entire arena is chanting this. Like all 18,500 plus are chanting Otters better at Connor Hellebuck. And that doesn't even give Otter any juice. He was asked in post-game presser, what does it mean to be up against your Team USA starting goalie and trying to prove a point like, hey, maybe I should be the starter and all that kind of stuff. And he had a professional answer, but his facial expressions were very funny. He just kind of went like this and smiled, like kind of tilted his head a little bit, smiled, and then answered it. So he knows the moment. He knows what he's playing for next year, but he knows what he's playing for right now. He's going to try to go win a Stanley Cup, and then he'll worry about Team USA later. But he knows that, yeah, this looks a lot better for me than it does for him right now. And I think the Otters' better chance gets the Star skaters more confidence, and it gives Connor Hellebuck less confidence at the same time. I like everyone on the Jets bench hears it. Everyone on the Stars bench hears it. And they know if their guy's going, go get him a win. Go get him another goal. Get him some more security. Make sure he doesn't have any high danger chances because he's been playing his heart out for you guys this whole playoff run so far, and he's just insane. It's the loudest Otter's better chance I've heard. The whole arena was chanting it, and I was like, that's... And it was like for a whole period at that point. The whole third period, that's basically all you heard was Otter's better, and it was just impeccable.
Like, he was so on. There was a point blank save he made with his pad where I was like, it bounced over, and I was like, there's no way that's not a goal. And it somehow misses the net. Like, or it didn't miss the net. He just blocked it with his pad. Like the shot wasn't high enough. And I was like, okay, if you're a fan of Winnipeg and you're seeing this, like, there's just not much you can do. Like, it's so deflating. In the Dallas forwards are so... Rupe Hintz flies through the blue line. Like, it's
awesome.
So hard to defend. And then you got to try and score on Jake Oettinger. Like, it's unreal. The frustration post game, ESPN showed Winnipeg going to the locker room. Like, they just look beat up mentally.
And I can't remember the Jets head coach's name right now, but we came in at the tail end of his press conference after we were in the locker room with Otter and Leon Bischel. And we walk in there, and the first thing I hear from him is that we had 70 shot attempts in this game, and we only scored 1 goal. That's unacceptable. And it's credit to their goalie, it's credit to their team, but you have to score more goals if you're going to have 70 shot attempts in a game. Not on goal, obviously, but they had 32 shots on net. 70 shot attempts. Like, you have to score more than just 1 goal. 969 save percentage from Otter. He's standing on his head, and Hellebuck is letting 1 or 2 leaky goals a game in, and then he's letting the rest of them are very earned and very hard goals to score. I think he's been very good this series. I think the Jets have been really good this series. I think they've been playing their game. They haven't really deviated from anything. The difference is that either Mikkorantanen or Mikael Granlund is scoring 2 goals, and then you're playing from behind. And the Jets don't play as good from behind, but they still play their game. They're still cycling the puck. They're still getting offensive zone time. They're still getting a bunch of hits. They're playing great defense at the blue line. They're doing all of the right things. The Stars just happen to be better. And did you see Jesse Pollock's tweet from last night?
It. Yeah,
from Bar Down? He said that he thinks that the Blues have played the Jets better and harder than the Stars have this year. It's been 4 games. There are 3 wins already on the table for the Stars. They need 1 more win to it. Just send you home for the summer. Go grab golf clubs. The Blues played an exceptional series. They played hard. They hit hard. They scored timely goals. They beat the shit out of them a couple of games in St. Louis, which, if you look at the last 2 games, it was 5-2 and 3-1. I would kind of count that as not blowouts, but handed you the loss pretty easily there, especially in the third period. It's like you played really good for 40 minutes in both of those games, and then the last 20 minutes you played bad. I don't know what to tell you. The Jets have played really good, and the Stars just happen to be better, deeper. They have scorers everywhere. They have a better defense. They have a better goalie right now. It is what it is, Jets fans. Jesse Pollock, accept it. Accept that the Stars are a better team, and we can move on from that. But the Blues are not a better team, and they're not playing. The Blues did not play a better series than the Stars have so far in any way.
And if we, I'm trying to stay humble here, but like if we had the Blues in the first round, we're not going 7 games.
5.
I'll leave it at that. Like
5.
And I think just games. The frustration comes from the regular season. Winnipeg was owning us, and I can't deny that. Like it was. I think it was right at the end of the season. Courtney in the Apollo hockey chat's like, man, it would be nice to win this one. I know it doesn't mean anything because everything's kind of set in stone. Like we're gonna face Colorado, but man, it would be good to win this. And we still just for whatever
got shut out for the first time that season.
So if you're a fan of Winnipeg and you watch all their games, you would think like it would carry over. But the Dallas Stars in the playoffs, it's not just Mikael Granlund, it's the whole team. Like it's a different level of physicality and speed, and a team like Winnipeg just might not be able to handle it.
I do think the biggest storyline of this series is that the power play and the penalty kill for both teams. I think Winnipeg had one of the best penalty kills in the league this year, top 5. The Stars obviously were top 5. They were number 1 up until the last 7 games of the season when they lost 7 games in a row. That was tough, but I think they finished 3rd. I think Winnipeg was top 5, maybe 4th. So great PKs on both sides. The power play for the Stars after probably the first 2.5 months of the season one of the best power plays in the NHL. Winnipeg, I think, had the best power play in the NHL for the regular season, and then they had a really good power play in the first round against the Blues. The Jets have one, maybe two power play goals so far. They went 0 for 4 again last night on the power play. The Stars were 2 for 4. The Stars are like 40% right now on the power play this series. Like, that is the difference. Like, you have to win on special teams in the playoffs. You just have to. You have to execute at the highest level on the PK and the power play at the highest level. And that's what the Stars are doing in this series right now. I mean, they were 1 for 2 in game 3. They were 2 for 4 in game 4. And I think the Jets were like 0 for 3 and 0 for 4 in those two games. That's the difference right there. The penalty kill is exceptional for the Stars, and Jake Oettinger's not letting in power play goals, and the Jets aren't scoring power play goals, and the Stars are. That's the difference in this series. And you're playing an exceptional series, but you're not converting on special teams. If you don't convert on special teams, you're probably not going to win games.
Yeah. And, for Dallas, like, I'd make the argument this game was really good for, I've been watching the second line and, Sagan, Duchesne, and this game, apart from any game in this series, like, the first period kind of started how this whole series has gone for them, which is just not good. I can't sugarcoat it. But from the second and third period, we were finally starting to see, like, at least a neutral level of play from them, particularly in 5-on-5. And if those boys get going, and if Robo gets going, like,
Robo's on your fourth line.
I don't fear anybody. Like, it's Jamie Benn's staying out of the penalty box. Marchman's doing his thing. Like, boy, it's just so much for opposing teams to handle. Like, I think Winnipeg's playing good. It's just the Dallas Stars are one of the best teams in the world.
They are. I mean, Sam Steele moved up to the third line. They put Wyatt Johnson and Robo on the fourth line for metrics reasons, but I think they played more shifts. So that third line was really your fourth line. It's Dadonov, Steele, and Jamie Benn. And that line was, I thought, really good last night. Jamie Benn with the flying Superman hit later in the game when there's a little tussle in front of the net. And I think it was Rupe. He was into it with Mark Scheifele, and Jamie Benn flew out of nowhere and just ripped Scheifele's helmet off. I thought he decked him from the press box, and then you watch the replay. He really just grazed his helmet, and it fell right off. And he got a penalty from that. But that's what you want to see from your captain. You want to see him do all the dirty work and stick up for your teammates and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, the power play is just I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the Jets scored right after a power play happened. Like, Sagan probably had 1 or 2 steps on the ice at that point. But, yeah, 0 for 4 on the power play, and the Stars were 2 for 4. That's the difference in last night's game. You scored 1 goal. The Stars scored 1 goal 5-on-5, and then you had 2 goals power play. That's your difference right there. They didn't even score an empty netter. Didn't need to at all. Yeah. It's like 3 minutes of empty net time, and they're just like, yeah, we don't even really need this goal. We're just going to make sure that you don't score 1. Doesn't matter.
Man, the way this is going, I feel like this, at least in the second round, I feel like this is the last game at AAC. I feel like we close it out.
Yeah, let's get into game 5, up to Winnipeg Thursday night, 8:30, which means like 8:50 puck drop, which is going to suck again. Thought we were pretty close to being done with that, but turns out we're back. Another 8:30 start time, and it's going to suck. But up in Winnipeg, you're going to get the best game from the Jets. They don't want to go home for the summer. They want to make sure it goes back to AAC. They want to make sure they get another game, maybe 2. They're going to try their damnedest to do it. They're going to have their best game. The offense is probably going to be buzzing. They're going to be cycling the puck. They're going to get a lot of shots on net. Can you survive the first 10 minutes? If you can survive the first 10 minutes, I'm a broken record at this point. Survive the first 10 minutes on the road. Make sure you put a little bit of pressure on them at some points. But even if it's only 2 shots on goal and you had like 2 shifts of good pressure in that first 10 minutes and you don't allow a goal, for the Jets, that game can be yours pretty quickly. I really feel like you can just deflate the crowd immediately, get that first goal, and capitalize on it. If it's the Finn line, if it's Miro Heiskanen doing it, if it's Thomas Harley, if it's Wyatt Johnston, if it's Robo, if it's Sagan, Duchesne, Mason Marchment, like, you got all these guys. Can you get that first goal? If you can get that first goal, dancing to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and, Bischel, I say it time and time again, his stick work is, dude, it's too good for a guy that big. Like, it's nuts, man. And you sound like a broken record, but that's the recipe. Like, in those first 10 minutes, as long as you don't give them a chance to get up, you can step on their throat later in the game because they can't keep up with your forwards. And I see no reason why it doesn't continue this way. I mean, with Otter in the back playing the way he's playing, it's an uphill battle for sure. But you will be getting a desperate Winnipeg team, and we'll see what happens. My prediction was 7. I thank God I'm way off because I think it's going to be over Thursday night.
Yeah, I mean, Hellebuck obviously is really good at home. He had one okay game. Obviously, Mikael Granlund scored a hat trick. It's just like it is what it is. Mikael Granlund scored a hat trick. That game was over. The next game, you got him shut out. You got a shutout. It's 4-0. Three goals allowed by Otter, and one was an empty netter. The difference in this series is obviously the special teams, power play and penalty kill. But the other thing is the third period. Every third period where it's been tied or a 1-goal lead for the Stars, they just step on their throats. They get that next goal in the next 5-7 minutes of the third period, and that game is over. You got 13, 15 minutes left, and that game's over. Doesn't even matter what happens. And if they can just be tied or up 1 heading into the third period, I have no doubts in my mind that there's another goal coming for the Stars and there's no goals coming for the Jets because Jake Oettinger is going to stand on his head in the third period. He's not going to let anything stupid happen. And Mikkorantanen or Mikael Granlund or Wyatt Johnston, someone is going to go score that goal in the third period and give you a 2-goal cushion, and you're going to feel very comfortable going into that empty net situation because your 6-on-5 has been very, very good for the most part. I think you've only allowed 1 goal, and it was a penalty call on Nathan McKinnon jumped off the bench and scored a goal on Otter in round 1. I think that's the only 6-on-5 goal that you've allowed. I believe that they win this game. I wouldn't have said that if they had lost this game. I think they go down 3-2, and then you got to win 2. If they go or they're down 3-1 or 2-2 or whatever, I think they lose the next game, and then they win at home, and then you go to game 7 and you see what happens. But they won last night. I didn't know if they could win back-to-back games against this team. This team's incredible. They won the President's Trophy for a reason. But the Stars stepped on their throat last night. Mikael Granlund stepped on their throat. The Finnish Mafia is all over the place. And now you got Miro Heiskanen back. He's probably going to play 16 minutes, maybe 17 on Thursday. Who's to say how long he plays, if he gets a little bit more power play time or if he gets PK time. Survive the first 10 minutes and then go dominate the third period like you've done all series.
Absolutely. That's the key. And I feel way too good about this. Like the play is showing me wise, and just the vibes that Peter DeBoer is one of the best like post-game interviews now. Like earlier in the season, I was kind of scared of him, but now I've started to become very much a fan of his post-game interviews. And when his energy's up, you can tell it reflects the rest of the locker room. And I think they have what it takes to take this 1-5, which is crazy because of how good Winnipeg is.
Incredible. And they got beat up against St. Louis. I can't discount that. Obviously, Adam Morrissey and Mark Scheifele, they miss a few games there, and that's tough. That's your best defenseman and best forward missing games. That's awful. You don't want that for anyone, but we didn't have Robo or Miro in round 1. We took care of Colorado in 7 games. And they both go 7 games in that series. They're both physical, just heavyweight fights, basically, in both of those series. And I think that Blues team just took a lot out of the Jets, even though they're still playing their game. They're just not as sharp right now. They're just not getting – like Kyle Connor scored against the Stars like 20 times this year, it felt like. He scored every game. It's like multiple times sometimes. And he had that breakaway last night, and I was like, here we go, 2-2 or 3-2 at that point. And I'm like, it's going to be tough. Like, that's a tougher road if you're up 3-2 instead of 3-1 with how much ever time left. But Miro got enough on that stick, and then Otter made the easy save. And then it was just smooth sailing from there. So, again, survive the first 10 minutes, dominate the third period. You're going to win that game in 5. You're going to have extra rest for Miro, Robo, to everybody get back, everybody else to get a little bit more healthy, not take any hits. But it looks like Edmonton-Vegas might only go 5-2. Edmonton's been buzzing, and you might have a Western Conference Finals rematch from last season with the Oilers and Stars. But this time, we look a little different. We got a guy now. This guy's name is Mikkorantanen and Mikael Granlund and Miro Heiskanen. They're all back. The Finns are back. Finnish Mafia has never been better. I can't wait for that first time where they have home ice and they start all 5 Finns at one point when Miro's really healthy. Esa, Miro, Mikael, Mikko, Rupe. That Finn line, that starting 5 Finns. The Finn five, like the Fab Five Michigan basketball team with Chris Webber and Jalen Rose and all those guys. We need to make sure
The
Finn
Finnish
five.
five.
The Finn 5. That'd be a good time. But yeah, Stars have an opportunity to close out this series in 5 games against the Winnipeg Jets. We'll see if they can do it on Thursday night. But Dom, any last words before we head into that battle in
So
Winnipeg?
I've noticed we have a bunch of new listeners from the great country of Finland.
We do.
If y'all can find a way to get me Rupe Hintz's shoes, they're impossible to get over here in the States. I would love a pair.
It's really hard.
I don't know what I got to do, but I want the shoes. They look awesome. If y'all can find a way to hook a boy up down here in Houston, I would love it because week by week, I am turning more Finnish.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be blonde in June. We're just going to have Slim Shady haircuts in June. Like, this is what's going to happen. But yeah, I asked Rupe about the shoes during the Colorado series, maybe after a game. And I was like, hey, Rupe, you got any shoes like in America? And he goes, I have no idea what's going on with that. I was like, all right, sick. Like, he just made them, he promoted them, and that was it. He doesn't know anymore. So I went straight to the source. I don't know what else I can do. So Finland, if you could help us out, get us some Rupe Hintz shoes. I'm a size 43 European, not a big deal. So if we can get some of those, that'd be cool. We'll wear them on the podcast. We'll make sure our feet are on the desk the entire time, showing off our Finnish flag on the heel. But Stars have a chance. Game 5, Thursday night. We'll be back with another episode of Clean Sheet Advice, Texas Hockey Podcast pretty soon here. Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. We love Zing Zang over here. Zing Zang responsibly, obviously. But during the playoffs, you can be a little irresponsible, not too irresponsible. And, we got to wake up for work the next day and all those kinds of things. But have some Bloody Mary mix from Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Zang responsibly. And shout out to Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app. It's available in a lot of states, especially Texas, where we're at. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit with Prize Picks using code Apollo. We love you guys. Thank you for listening. All the Finnish viewers, all the new viewers during this playoff run. We love you guys. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's free. Doesn't do anything to you. You don't even have to turn the notifications on if you don't want to, but the subscribers and the likes and everything helps out over here at Apollo Media and Clean Sheet Advice, the Texas Hockey Podcast. We'll be back very, very soon after Thursday night's Game 5 in Winnipeg for the Stars and Jets with another episode of Clean Sheet Advice, Texas Hockey Podcast.